Web Developers Guide to 2024 Developer Summit, right? Emily and Julie worked on this blog together, put this up. So it's got some really cool pieces in here, basically highlighting things for web developers, sessions we're going to do, right? It's got the highlights. I didn't see this one. The secrets behind 10 amazing web apps. All right, that's kind of cool. I wonder who's doing that. Is this Sajid? Hold on. Let me see. Of course, Sajid and Raluca. Raluca does some cool stuff too. Sajid, of course, is always doing cool stuff. All right. Components for development. All right, here's mine. So this is a session I'm doing with Omar. Is that a session we do with Omar? That's a session. We have a few component sessions. Then there's building apps with components. I'm not doing this one. Then there's a charts one too, right? I think who's doing this? Max doing this one? Let me see. Omar and Callie are doing this one. Okay, so yeah, Omar and Callie are doing this one. So again, Omar involved in a lot of the component stuff. Building apps with charts components. That one's going to be really cool too. Yeah, there are charts components now you can do some cool stuff with. Then we got mapping visualization stuff, right? So data viz, 3D viz, large data sets. This one's really useful for a lot of people because we get questions a lot about how to visualize particularly large data, right? Aggregation and stuff like that. You might want to do it. We've done a lot of performance stuff. We're helping out with that. Custom visualizations and animating your data. Animating your data is pretty cool. That's a fun one. Working with your data, right? So feature layer, which, you know, I think these are required ones here. If you're at DevSummit, you really owe it to yourself to try to find time to see this introduction to feature layer at least once. There are probably bits that get added to it every year, but you should see this one at least once a year. Maximizing performance, the same thing, right? I mean, there's so many things that come up with the feature layer every year that it's just a key part of working with the Maps SDK, right? Because it ties into feature services, ties into caching, querying, and how you kind of want to work with these feature services in your apps, right? So I think it's pretty key to work with. We got here working with imagery. There's a lot of really cool stuff that's happened with imagery. I think this past like year, 2 years. So I definitely would check this one out. The OGC services, right? So it's probably pretty big with some of the European folks. I know OGC is pretty big overseas for me. We got client-side queries analysis, using Arcade with your apps, right? So this is, again, I think this one's key too. If you're working with the Maps SDK or just the ArcGIS platform in general, you really should get familiar with using Arcade to do stuff, visualizations for pop-ups. It just ties in just about everywhere to help you kind of work with your data, right? You know, I see one of my phones is kind of beeping, so I'm going to turn off this phone here. All right, so then we got knowledge. ArcGIS knowledge, yes. This is like knowledge graphs, stuff like that. Oriented imagery, a utility network, right? So these I think are more the enterprise folks exploring new ArcGIS capabilities. But like, I'm pretty sure the utility network is just an enterprise solution. So you want to check that out definitely if you've got utility network or you're interested in using a utility network in your enterprise solutions, right? You got geometry network or something like that, right? Working with oriented imagery, I don't work with this too much, but this is very cool. I've got to play with some of this a bit. It's neat, man. It's pretty cool. This is a lot like some of the stuff you used to play with. What was the name of the company? There was a company that I used to use a long time ago, LA County, that had this type of imagery. It's kind of like the bird's eye view imagery, but you can also do various measurements and stuff like that, get building heights and stuff. It's really cool. Then of course we have 3D stuff, right? So you've got building 3D apps, which is key, 3D visualizations, web scenes, and unveiling them again. And what if this is a repeat? Secrets by 10 amazing web apps. So it's probably, I think because some of the stuff that's in here also covers 3D too, so it kind of overlaps different things, right? Different areas. And of course, we have calcite stuff, right? If you're building apps and you're interested in calcite for your design system, you want to kind of make your apps look like what Esri does, definitely take advantage of those. Wow, that's quite a few. Calcite and React. The art and science of creating intuitive interfaces. Okay, okay. Eyes on design. Who's doing this one? Eyes on design. I mean, yeah, I gotta respect that, Mitchell. I gotta respect that. That's a bold title, there, guys. Right? So, yeah, this is demo theater Wednesday. I think I can see this. I think this is just before my sessions. I might want to check this one out. That's a cool session. Editing, editing's huge, man. Just a long blog. Better UX with pop-ups, UIs using widgets, right? And like we got tooling stuff. Oh, there's okay, yeah, there are specific ones for. Okay, so here's my other session. This is one I'm going to work on my demo in a little bit. API key stuff. This is with Randy. Maximize performance capabilities of feature. Again, I would do this one. A CI/CD best practices for apps. This one here, we get a lot of questions about how you would work with the Maps SDK and like your own CI, CD kind of workflows in your pipelines. So this might be pretty good. From hero to zero. What is this one? I don't think I've seen this one. From hero to zero. Damn, I wish I would have came up with that title. That's a nice title. Sam. I met Sam. I think I've met Sam before. I want to say, but damn, I like that one. That's cool. Okay. All right. All right. I'm down with that. That's cool. I'm a fan of that. Right. Again, bold titles. High expectations. But I think it's gonna be a really cool one. That's neat. And this is that demo theater? Half an hour. That's unfortunate. It's just a demo theater. That'd be kind of a cool full session, I think. This it's one of those things where if it's depending on how the demo theater does, it could turn into a full session next year. But I dig that. A lot of data compacted into a small amount of time, right? What you're gonna get. Secure authentication. Please go see this session because I get asked tons of questions during the week about security stuff. And look, I know some stuff. I can answer a few OAuth questions and things like that. Of course, API keys, whatever. But when you start talking about your federated services and maybe you've got like some Active Directory set up, but you also got some I don't know, man. Like, there's so many different configurations for your security you could do. I'm not the guy to ask, so please, I can maybe be able to help you find who to ask, but I don't know all this complicated stuff, man. That's not my bag, right? Here's the programming parents API fundamentals. This is the other session I'm doing with Sage. Tips and tricks for developing and debugging apps. This one's always really cool. Highly recommend this one. There's some really good tips in here. There's a VS Code extension for like snippets and stuff like that you can get. Building apps with components. Do we always see this one? This is mine, right? I think there's some repeats going on here. Strategies for web development, so they're getting started ones. Introduction of JavaScript feature web developers. I had done this one before at one point at demo theater. Who's doing this one now? Uh, Emily's doing this one. Emily did a really good job of this one at, was it UC or Berlin? I can't remember. She did it after I did it. And I think I just got carried away with stuff I was showing. It was like too much. So I was like, calm down. Let's bring it back to basics. And she did a really good job at kind of like honing that particular session in, right? Okay. It's taking apps to next level. I don't know if I can go through this whole. Okay, I'm gonna go through the whole thing. I'm already here. I'm already done. I'm already doing this. Okay, unveiling the magic again. Oh, this is the same one. Secrets behind 10 amazing web. Okay, it's in here too. Arcade, custom visualization. I mean, okay, we're getting some repeats going on here. Under the hood. This is a cool one. I highly recommend this one if you're just kind of interested in the updates to the SDK, kind of like what goes into building it. Well, not building it, but some of the like I think there's some WebGL discussion that might happen in here, or the Web GPU. Like we moved from like WebGL 1 to 2 or Web GPU. Yeah, we like updated some stuff. Stefan and Fred are gonna be talking here, right? So it's under the hood session. It's pretty cool. Tools, techniques. Fred's my manager, by the way. Be nice to him, everyone. Nice applause and claps, please. Performance capabilities. Yeah, so there's gonna be some tooling stuff maybe going on in here too. I'm not sure. We'll see. Man, okay, that's a lot. So this is a good blog post for web developers that are going to be going. I think there's also a guide for like if you're doing like runtime or mobile stuff, something like that. I know I saw another guide in there somewhere for certain things. So